This person is choosing whether to come back, not someday, not next week, but tonight, sitting somewhere quiet with your name filling the whole room. They are weighing it right now. And nothing brought you to this message by accident. Something inside you already knows that. Something has shifted, something is moving, and you landed here because you needed to understand what that shift means before another night passed without clarity. Here is what nobody ever tells you about the moment someone truly believes they have lost you for good. The heart does not go silent. It does not accept the ending and simply move forward. It tries to reach back into your world. It stretches toward you. And in this message, I am going to walk you through exactly how that happens. What it looks like, what it feels like, and why it is already happening with this person right now. You did not stumble onto this by chance. Your spirit called it in. It already knew what you needed and it found it. Nothing in this universe is misplaced, and it placed you right here, right now, at exactly the right moment. What they feel for you is love, not habit, not history, not something that slowly faded into comfort and stayed out of convenience. Love. The kind that refuses to go quiet just because someone told it to. The kind that keeps rising to the surface even when the person holding it has begged it to stop 100 times. Plain admiration does not wake you up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Habit does not make you type a message 6 times before you even hit send. What keeps them up at night is love, and love does not answer to fear. It just keeps burning. You were not imagining it. Say that out loud to yourself right now. You were not imagining it. The connection was real. What you felt was real. You did not build it out of loneliness. It was there. It has always been there, and something greater has been watching it every single day. Place your hand flat against your chest right now. Feel the warmth resting there. That warmth is not nothing. That warmth is exactly what they feel when something brings you back. A song that starts and stops them mid-step. A place they pass that you used to love. A single word you used to say. That warmth is a frequency. It travels both ways. It always has. The world sees this connection clearly. It has been watching since the very beginning. It sees what they carry in the dark. It sees what they cannot say out loud. It sees every single night they spend with your name and no safe place to put it. And it brought you here tonight because something is close. Something is happening on the other side of this quiet, and you are meant to know. Later in this message, I will tell you exactly where their choice is really coming from. Not what you assume, not what they pretend. Something the thinking mind cannot reach on its own. What I am about to share will change the way you see everything. Stay with me through it. Type "they noticed" in the comments right now, because they did. They noticed when you stopped reaching. They noticed the moment the energy shifted. The universe sees every person typing those 2 words. And what comes next is something you cannot leave without hearing. They are deciding whether to come back. And deciding is not the same thing as not caring. Anyone who truly stopped caring does not decide. They simply go. They keep moving without looking back. They do not lie awake at 2 a.m. They do not pick up the phone and set it down 12 times in a row. But this person is not going. This person is standing at the edge of something, looking back at you. That is not indifference. That is a person fighting a war inside themselves, and the only reason a person fights that hard is because the stakes are everything. You are the stakes. You have always been the stakes. Here is what that war looks like right now. And here is the first thing the heart does when it believes it is truly losing someone. It reaches back through every quiet channel it can find. It tries to slip back into your field without commitment, without full exposure. It sends small signals first, testing, measuring, looking for signs of life. They check your name. They check it again 3 hours later. They linger on something you posted without reacting at all, but they stay longer than they meant to. They like something old, something you shared weeks ago, something a person who had truly moved on would not have stumbled across. They ask someone who knows you a question that is not really about the words they ask. They mention your name in a conversation where it did not need to come up. They make themselves briefly visible. A view, a story, a small moment of presence that lands just inside your field and then disappears. They are not ready to say anything out loud, but they are not gone. They are circling. They are measuring the gap between where they are and where you are, trying to decide if the ground between them is safe enough to walk on. Then the heart moves to the next part, the testing. They go quiet, and then they come back. They disappear for a week, and then something lands. A casual message, a small observation, something built to look like nothing at all, a check-in that sounds like an accident, a piece of shared history they drop into your path like it just happened to occur to them, a timing that is not accidental in the slightest. They want to see if you respond. They want to see if the version of you who used to reach is still reaching. They are looking for the door, trying to find out if it is still cracked open, and when neither of those moves works the way they hoped, when they cannot tell if they have been seen or felt or landed anywhere near you, the truth begins to leak. A message that is shorter than it needs to be but carries more than it says. A question they did not need to ask. A sentence that opens with something simple and lands somewhere else entirely. A confession wrapped in something ordinary. A moment where the wall they built shifts just slightly and what is behind it begins to show. That is not weakness. That is love, finding the only exit it can find. They reopen your last message. They read it once. They read it again. They look at the timestamp. They set the phone face down. They pick it up again. They open your name. They stare at the empty message bar. They type something. They delete it. They type again. They stop. They hold the phone and say nothing. They set it down. They pick it up. They come back to your name. They read the old messages. They scroll all the way up to the beginning. They stop at something you once said. They stay there longer than they planned. That is not someone who has moved on. That is someone fighting something larger than their own choice. That is someone who loves you and does not yet have the courage to say so again. What the universe places between two people, it places on purpose. It does not place something this real between two people only to let it quietly disappear. What was set in motion between you is still in motion. The silence did not stop it. The distance did not stop it. No human choice can undo what something far older than reason quietly began. What they feel for you is love. It is not rational. It does not answer to logic. It does not go away when they tell it to. Admiration does not do this to a person. Admiration does not keep you awake until 4 o'clock in the morning. What keeps them awake is love. Deep, inconvenient, and completely outside their control. Touch the inside of your wrist right now. Find your pulse. That rhythm has been there through every single day of this silence. It did not stop. It kept going. Just like what they feel for you, it kept going. Even when they tried to make it stop, even when they told themselves it was over, even when they tried everything to replace it, something greater sees every sleepless night they spend with your name. It sees the love they are trying to manage like something that can be managed, and it brought you here because something is moving. Something is close. At night, the mask comes off. During the day, they move through their hours. They answer people. They show up where they are supposed to show up. They look like someone who is fine. But at night, there is no more managing. At night, there is only truth. They lie awake at 2 o'clock in the morning, staring at the ceiling. At 3 o'clock in the morning, your name is the only thing left in the room. At 4 o'clock in the morning, they are still there, still awake, still sitting somewhere between wanting to reach out and being terrified of what comes next. The pillow on the other side of the bed is just a pillow. They know that, but something in them keeps forgetting. Their dreams turned against them. They can manage their thoughts during the day, but no one manages their dreams, and in their dreams, You are everywhere. You are sitting across from them in a room that does not quite exist. You are laughing. They can hear the exact sound of your laugh, not someone else's version of it, yours. You are looking at them the way you used to look at them. Without distance, without walls, just warm and present and real. They wake up, and for 3 seconds they forget. For 3 seconds the silence does not exist. For 3 seconds there is only the feeling of being near you. And then the 4th second arrives, and the warmth drains out slowly, and they remember, and the deciding starts all over again. Their body knows before their mind does, a tightening in the throat when your name comes up in conversation, a drop in the stomach when something small and ordinary brings you back to them, a warmth in the chest they try to push back down. Their breathing changes when they see something connected to you. Their hands go still. Their whole body gives away what their face tries to hide. The body cannot lie. It never could. It remembers you. It has been remembering you every single day. They told themselves it was over. They told themselves to move forward. They told themselves you were a chapter and chapters close. They told themselves time would take care of the feeling. They told themselves the missing was just habit, and habits break. They told themselves someone else would eventually fill the space you left. They told themselves they had made the right call. They told themselves they were doing fine. They told themselves the love was just nostalgia dressed up as something bigger. They told themselves whatever they needed to tell themselves just to make the truth more manageable. They lied every single time. Every single one of those things was a lie. What they feel for you is love. You did not create it. You did not imagine it into being. It was real when it began, and it is real right now, sitting in a quiet room with your name filling it. The love did not leave when they did. It stayed. It is still here. It is still waiting. Type they noticed in the comments again. They noticed you stopped waiting, and it changed something inside them. The universe sees every person in this comment section, and it knows exactly why you are here. Stay, because what comes next is the confession, and it is the part that will make everything make sense. If this person could speak to you right now without fear and without walls, this is exactly what they would say. I think about you every single night. I did not plan for that. I did not want this to keep going. I decided it was finished, and I meant it. But meaning something and making it true are not the same thing. I tried to stop. I tried everything I knew how to try. I filled my days with noise. I filled my nights with anything loud enough to cover the quiet. Nothing worked. You are still there. You are always there. You are the last thing I think about, and the first thing I remember, and everything in between. I miss you in ways I cannot explain to anyone, not just the obvious things, the small things. The way you said my name, not anyone else's version of my name, yours. The way you listened to me, like what I said actually mattered, like I was someone worth the full attention of another person. I have not felt that since. I have not felt that even once. I remember the way you looked at me. I remember the last time I saw your face. I remember what you were wearing. I remember what you said and what I said back. I remember wishing I had said something completely different. I have been wishing that in the silence ever since. I remember mornings with you. I remember small, ordinary evenings that did not feel small when I was inside them. I remember what it felt like to be near you and not be performing some version of myself. I remember what it felt like to be enough exactly as I was. I remember everything I have tried to forget. I cannot forget a single thing. I am afraid it is already too late. That is the fear sitting underneath all the other fears. I am afraid you have already moved past this. I am afraid you found peace without me. I am afraid you do not need what I might bring back. I am afraid that if I reach out, you will not respond. I am more afraid that you will. I am afraid of what your voice would do to me. I am afraid of what your face would do to me. I am afraid that I would see you and know everything I gave up and have to live inside that knowing. What if I already used up everything you had to give me? What if I broke something that does not fix? What if you look at me and feel nothing now? What if the window is gone and I am standing outside a closed house in the dark? I know I hurt you. I know there are things I left unsaid that deserve to be said. I know I made choices that cost you something real and I did not stay long enough to see the cost. I know I do not deserve to miss you the way I miss you. I miss you anyway. I cannot stop. I miss you anyway. I am losing the one person I was supposed to keep. Type they noticed in the comments right now, because they noticed you did not collapse. They noticed you did not chase. And that noticing is exactly what broke something open inside them. The universe sees you here. Stay, because the most important thing in this entire message comes next. Here is what the universe needs you to understand. Here is what I told you was coming. The choice they think belongs to them. Whether to come back, whether to reach out, whether to walk back across the distance. That choice was not made by their mind. It was not made at 2 o'clock in the morning, staring at a ceiling. It was made somewhere far deeper than any of that. It was made at the level where souls operate, where fear has no authority and reason has no power. The universe does not place two souls in each other's lives at that level of recognition and then simply remove one of them without cause. What the universe places, it places on purpose. And one human mind choosing to be afraid does not undo what something far older quietly placed between you. Their mind is trying to decide. But something far older than their mind has already answered. The answer was made before they knew there was a question, and the answer has always been the same. The silence is not rejection. Hear that one more time. The silence is the sound of someone trying to find the courage to do what they already know they are about to do. Not the silence of someone who forgot you. Not the silence of someone who moved on. The silence of someone holding something too large to carry and too real to put down. You were never the problem. You have never been the problem. You were the answer. You have always been the answer. Run your fingers slowly down the inside of your forearm right now. Feel that warmth. That is the same frequency they feel when something brings you back to them. You are not outside of this. You have never been outside of this. The connection does not need their participation to keep existing. It exists because something larger placed it. And what the universe places, it does not misplace. Type they noticed one more time. 4 words would be enough, but 2 is all it takes, because they noticed something has changed in you, and that change is exactly what makes the next move theirs. Stay with me, because what comes next is about who you have become. It is the most powerful part of this entire message. Something has changed inside you. You may not have given it a name yet, but it is there and you can already feel it. Something that used to tremble has gone steady. Something that used to reach has stopped reaching. Something that used to wait has stopped waiting. And inside that stillness, something entirely new arrived. Something that has been trying to reach you for a long time finally had enough space to land. You used to wait. You used to check your phone first thing in the morning before your eyes were even fully open. You used to feel your heart sink when it was not from them. You used to jump every time the phone made a sound. You used to replay conversations looking for the exact moment it went wrong. You used to read old messages over and over, searching for something you must have missed. You used to study every word they said and every word you said back. You used to make yourself smaller to make room for someone who kept needing more space. You used to apologize for things that were not your fault. You used to explain yourself to someone who was not really listening. You used to leave the door open even when standing in it was costing you everything. You used to carry the weight of both of you. You used to pour yourself into something that had long stopped pouring back. You stopped. You stopped waiting for a message that may or may not arrive. You stopped checking your phone like it was a verdict on your worth. You stopped shrinking yourself to fit a space they kept leaving empty. You stopped turning the silence into something forgiving. You stopped making excuses for things that did not need excuses. You stopped measuring your value by how quickly they responded. You stopped asking to be chosen. You stopped leaving the door open when the cold was making you freeze. You stopped begging and you stopped bargaining. And you stopped performing your own heartbreak, hoping someone would finally see it. You became whole, not because someone came back, but because you chose yourself. Because something inside you decided, quietly, without announcement, that your peace mattered, that your mornings belonged to you, that your nights deserved more than waiting in them. You became whole on your own, and that is the most powerful thing that has ever happened in this whole story. And they noticed, even through the distance, even through everything, they noticed the version of you who used to wait is no longer standing at the window. They cannot name it exactly, but they feel it. And because they felt it, the heart started reaching back the way it always does when it believes it is truly losing someone. First, the small signals, the view, the like, the name dropped where it did not need to be. Then the testing, the sudden quiet followed by something casual that is not casual at all. Then the truth, starting to leak, the short message that carries more than it says. The question that opens a door they have been standing outside of for months, that pattern, that three-part reach back, is already happening, or it is already on its way, because they noticed you changed, and that noticing has no resting place. The spiritual world calls this the sacred threshold. It is the moment a soul stops waiting at the door and becomes the door itself. The moment you stop asking to be chosen and stand fully inside your own choosing, you crossed that threshold. You may not have marked the moment, but you crossed it, and something greater witnessed every single step. The numbers around you are not random. 111 when they think of you is a sign a portal is open. The choice is already in motion. 222 is a sign two souls are at a crossroads. Something is being arranged. 333 is a sign your guides are close. We are here. We are watching. Something is being held open for what comes next. Every song that carries your shared history is a signal. Every coincidence is a nudge from something that does not do coincidence. The universe has been sending signals to both of you. It has been doing that the entire time. This is the great paradox of love. The moment you stop reaching is the moment you become magnetic. The moment you stop needing is the moment you become the most irresistible thing in someone's life. The moment you become whole is the moment something larger rearranges itself around your new frequency. You did not become whole to get them back. You became whole because you deserved wholeness. But the universe does not waste a transformation this real. It uses it. It is using it right now. Press both hands flat on the tops of your knees right now. Feel the steadiness sitting there. That is who you are now. That is the sacred threshold. That steadiness is the thing they cannot find anywhere else. No one else has ever given them what you give them. Not in the same way, not at that frequency. That is not sentiment. That is a fact the universe has been quietly holding for you. The same energy that holds galaxies in their spiraling paths has been holding you. The same force that pulls oceans toward the moon has been pulling you towards something larger than what you thought you lost. The light that burns in distant stars, light traveling for thousands of years through absolute darkness, that same light burns in the center of your chest right now. The love that moves planets around suns moves through your veins. You are not a small person in a small story. You are made from the same material as everything enduring and beautiful and vast in this universe. Something bigger has been watching over you. Every second of this silence, every quiet morning, every long night, every moment you wondered if any of it was real. It was watching. It never looked away. You are loved not only by this person, but by something larger than any one person could ever be. By the force that decided you should exist at all. By the energy that placed you in this exact life at this exact time, with this exact capacity to feel as deeply as you feel. By something older than reason and wider than logic. No distance can shrink it. No silence can reach it. Bring both hands to the sides of your face right now. Hold your own face gently. That is your body reminding your mind who you are. That is the sacred threshold reminding you that you have already crossed it. You are not the person who waits anymore. You are the person who is ready, and readiness is magnetic. Readiness is what something larger has been quietly building inside you since the very first day of this silence. Maybe it will be a message, a simple one, 3 words or 4 sent at the right time. They were not even planning to send anything. Maybe it will be a look across a space that used to feel ordinary, a look that holds everything that was never finished between you. Maybe it will come from a direction you stopped watching, a moment you were not braced for, a door you had stopped standing in front of. Either way, you are ready. The sacred threshold is behind you now. You are standing in open space, and the universe fills open space with what belongs in it. You were seen on every morning you got up without anyone watching. You were seen on every night you kept your heart open when closing it would have been the easier thing. You were seen on every afternoon you chose something like grace when bitterness was right there and available. You were seen on every quiet evening you carried the full weight of what you felt without setting it down on someone who did not deserve to carry it. You were seen in every tear that fell when no one was in the room. You were seen in every prayer you sent out into a silence that felt like it was not listening. You were seen in every moment you chose to keep being someone worth coming back to.